This is Micah Carter here. I made this quick video to talk to you about a subject that's been on my mind ever since I got a couple of recent phones. And I actually went through at least three of them recently. And not too long ago, actually, I just had an old flip phone. A Motorola Razr, just the old thin flip phone. That's a fairly thin phone, really, but of course the iPhone had came out, so, you had the touch screen phones got big, the Android came out, and all that stuff. So we got the smartphones, everybody got a smartphone nowadays. But, anyway, bottom line is I went through I went to Metro PCS, and they've had good service with them. Basically I had good service with them, it hasn't really been a problem at all. But, I went through one phone. I had the Razr, of course, the old flip phone. It's a small little thin flip phone, and then I went in to go look for another phone just because that phone, I think what happened is it was damaged. That's right, something had happened to it finally to the point where it just gave out and I couldn't use anymore, so I was forced to go in and just see if I could find something else I could use. When I went in there, the guy that was working with me there, he went ahead and gave me a Samsung Admire for a few bucks. I think he had a used one or something. So anyway, I went ahead and took that phone. It was a smartphone now. I had an Android, something a little different from what I've been using for a long time. So that was kind of cool. I was checking out features and thinking, wow, okay, this is cool. But one problem it had is that when you make a three-way conference call, you can make a three-way conference call. You can add another call to the call you're on and merge it together. But when you end the call, you cannot just end one of the phone lines. You must end both phone lines. Now, I've found that with call waiting, for example, if someone calls you and you're on the phone with them talking, and then another person calls you, you can answer that phone call and you can swap back and forth between the calls, but you can't merge them because they both called you. It's not like you added a line on your phone. They just both called you. On the other hand, if you're on a phone call with somebody and you hit the menu button and you hit add call, it will give you the option to dial someone else, and when you dial that other person, you can merge the line together. But like I said, once they're merged, you can't just hang up on one line. So, this is a big problem. And now I have an LG Motion phone. Now, I went through a Huawei Activa. Had a Huawei Activa phone for a short time. I upgraded from the Samsung Admire to a 4G phone, which was the Huawei Activa. Although I wasn't super excited about that phone because it didn't have the greatest software and hardware and so forth. But one feature it did have was the ability to toggle calls, swap calls. And I believe the ability to drop one call from a phone line when you're on a three-way conference call and they're merged together, for instance. The ability to be able to drop one of those phone calls and still be on the other phone call without having to tell them to hang up. So I think this is a huge limitation for someone who is looking at this from a business standpoint. For instance, if you're in any kind of networking or sales or three-way calling type of circumstance or situation. And I know a lot of sales type of people, direct sales people, do use that a lot. And I think that's a big limitation. I'm trying to figure out a way that this could be resolved or bypassed. I've called the manufacturer of the phone, in this case LG. I've also contacted Metro PCS in several ways through their stores, their authorized stores, their calling them on the phone, and none of those methods seem to help. So I'm looking for anybody out there that has answers as to why some Android phones, and I think it's even the same with the iPhone, there's some iPhones with some service providers that have different kind of conference calling capabilities. But especially in this situation, like I said, the Samsung Admire, which is probably a little more outdated now, they had the LG Motion going on pretty recently, but they both seem to have the same limitation. And like I said, the Huawei Activa did not seem to have this problem. It's on the same plan, same calling plan that I have with the LG Motion, by the way. Three-way calling is enabled, and you're able to make and get a three-way call going and a conference call and merge it and everything. But like I said, you cannot simply hang up on one phone call. You have to ask them to hang up. For example, if I'm on the phone with one person and we call another person, we try to get them on the phone, and let's say I merge the call real quick because I want them to be on the phone when the person answers, but then the person doesn't answer, then it goes to their voicemail. And I have no option but to simply sit there and wait for the voicemail to play out. And of course, the voicemail starts recording a message, and I'm still talking to the other person. There is simply no way for me to hang it up. Some would say, well, why do you merge the call? Well, even if I merge the call, even if I don't merge the call, it's still, you can't hang up that one line. So it's kind of a, it's a big deal. It's a big limitation. And the people, the stores and the manufacturer, many of them like to act as if they don't see the problem here. Now, if you remember with a lot of the older phones, specifically the kinds with the hard key that you can press dial, out to press call, the call send button, the send button. And when you're on a call, another call comes in, you can hit the send button. It'll switch over to that other call, and then you can hit the send button again, and you'll all three be on the line, and then you can hit the send button again, and you'll go back to the original caller, and then you can hit the send button again and switch over to the other caller, and then merge them again and go back to this. So in other words, you just hit the send button over and over, and you can toggle between the calls and everything. Everything you need to do is right there. So anyway, if you have any thoughts to share about this, please let me know what happens with your phone. Does your phone have this problem? Also, I invite you to check me out on Facebook at Micah Carter's Network. That's just facebook.com/Carter's Network. It's just one of my fan pages, but it gives you a chance to link up with me there. Maybe get in touch with me. Let me know what your thoughts are, especially on this topic. I'm trying to figure out what's going on with this. So anyway, that's just some thoughts for now. I appreciate you all taking a quick few minutes to listen in here and hear the problem that I'm having. Let me know what your feedback is if you had the same limitation on your phone. And, if you're having this limitation, by all means, make a complaint. Let the LG Corporation know. Let Metro PCS or any of your phone providers that you have that may have this limitation, let them know that you're extremely disappointed with this problem. So maybe they'll fix it. Maybe they'll get an update, a software or firmware update or something. Anyway, once again, I appreciate y'all taking the time to listen to the video and hear my rant. And I hope to hear from you all soon. All right, thanks again, and you have a great day. Bye-bye.